nice to love them all and keep them safe and dry and warm.
Who is Chiz?
I don't think there's enough time in the interview for that.
Chiz is a very unusual person. She's been doing this for quite a number of years now.
She runs the boarding house here called Chiz's Heart Street. She takes in the homeless, mentally ill, recovering drug addict.
And she opens her heart and opens her home or house to people who cover a spectrum of personalities, of disabilities, of abilities.
She will stop everything that she's doing to talk to you and help you. And that's amazing.
I'm just a person that puts her shoes on every day, that's all.
Like a gem, so rare and colorful, you shine a light on all you see. Find the good in everything.
Well, originally it wasn't at this building, it was at 106 West Chestnut. I had come from San Diego, where I was working with the homeless, and then came here, and I walked into the other shelter one day, because I was working at the jail, and I saw the people, and on the one side, there were schizophrenic people, and on the other side, there were crack addicts. So I thought, well, that's why I came here. I came over here originally because they asked me, they needed some help. And then I thought I couldn't do both houses. And so what happened was that I ended up bringing everybody from the other house over here.
I met Chiz about 3 or 4 years ago when I left Rockland Psychiatric Hospital, and she asked me a lot of questions, and she did an interview with me, and she accepted me. And from then on, every time I needed her, she accepted me.
"106 West Chestnut." That's where I first met her at. We had to move from there, and we moved from there up here.
First time I met Chiz, I was just diagnosed with schizophrenia. I was at college in California. I came back home to be in a local area, and Chiz took me in.
Pretty much, how I met her was coming into here needing food and not having the money to take care of myself at the time. And I was able to walk out here with produce, fresh vegetables, microwavable things, and it was a very comforting feeling when everything else around me was not.
I met Chiz after getting out of jail, and I was brought here by somebody who was a liaison between being in jail and being out of jail, and I needed a place to live. I needed a place to stay, and Chiz was kind enough to offer me a place.
I've been running the house almost 20 years. There's 5 houses, and there's about 65 people. About 80% of them are schizophrenic. There's 10 women right now, and the rest are men, so 55 men. There's always room at the inn now. When I was an engineer, I was working on the space shuttle and inbreeder reactors and things like that. Why did I change my work? I don't know. I mean, I've been asked this, at least 50 times over the years. And the answer is always, it just came. I realized one day that I always worked nights so that I could be out on the streets during the day. What happened was I just slowly left. I was born in Boston. My mother is dead, I'm assuming. And I never have seen my father. So I ended up in orphanages when I was a kid. I think that we can learn from everything that happens in our lives. And what happened was I was living at with these two women, and I was probably like 3.5 or 4 years old. And they locked us in the closet. So I was locked in the closet for like 2.5 years. What I learned from the closet was to forgive and how to love people. You know, I was in the service, I was in the Air Force, and I went to college, and I knew I had come here for a reason, but I didn't know what it was. And at first I was working for Family of Woodstock and Ulster County Mental Health, and I ran a program at the jail for people who were mentally ill, and then I was an ICM, which is an intensive case manager. And I walked into 106 West Chestnut, and it smelled, so I knew that's why I was here.
Since I was 21, I lost my job. I got really sick and my phone wasn't on. So I wasn't able to work. I lost my baby. 9 years I've been homeless since I was 21 and I'm 30 now.
My best thinking is what got me homeless initially. I had been homeless off and on before. My addictions got me right to where I was. Very selfish person, very self-serving, you know, being an active addict. So nothing else mattered but what I wanted, you know, and it was just to stay high or to get high. I've had opportunities to move and get my stuff together and get my life together many times. This time here, it's just unlike any other time.
When I was in college, I got diagnosed with schizophrenia, and my family couldn't really take me in, so I came here.
I know people who've ended up in the hospital, ended up dead, just because of being homeless.
You gotta do really everything, because not many people can take care of themselves. So, you know, you have to do their laundry, you have to cook for them, clean for them, and really provide for them.
Now I'm a staff worker, a janitor, and a maintenance worker. I do all that kind of work. I clean the house, I do things, you know, she gets me the supplies that I need. Now when we do lunch and dinner, there's a nice little guy, they call him Lou, we call him Fuzzball. And he's very good, he's very, very good. He does the cooking, he does everything like that.
Oh, where do I even begin? My name is Erica Wagner. I'm the Service Learning Coordinator in the Career Resource Center at SUNY New Paltz. We've been going to Chiz's, I'm trying to think, I think this is maybe year 5. Volunteering is part of sustainability, and in order to sustain our communities, we need volunteers.
My name is Jane Lehman, and I'm a volunteer here at Chiz Hart Street. Once there was a volunteer day at my parish, St. Joseph's in New Paltz, and I came with the group, and then I decided to commit to like every other weekend, coming and serving lunch and helping out in the kitchen.
I've seen so many stories like that of just trying something that seems like it might be scary or difficult, and then realizing no matter your major, I can do something with this, and I can have a real impact in a few hours, and I want to share this with other people. Whenever people go, they always bring someone else the next time. I had a student in my class who went a few weeks ago, and she said, I got a nickname this time. And that's the biggest honor when you work with Chiz, is getting a nickname.
The nicknames of the house.
She identifies one feature of a person that she thinks she'll remember, rather than remembering names, which sometimes can be a little bit unusual. Like my first name is not one she'd automatically remember, but Fiddler, she associates with having seen Fiddler on the Roof.
I think that I got the name Fuzzball when I first got here. I got off the street pretty beat up, banged up, hadn't shaved for couple of weeks, and I was used to shaving probably every day, so I came in with a 10 o'clock shadow, and it was the first thing she called me. She's like, oh, you're Fuzzball, and I barely knew who she was, and she followed up with, you know, if you got a nickname, you're in the right spot, you know, and it stuck with me.
Well, part of it is just reasonable, because I'm getting too old to remember anybody's names anyways, so I just make up, you know, and it's my belief that people feel better about themselves. And it, you know, it's like when you call somebody Muppet, even though Muppet really didn't like it at first, or Seinfeld, or Ajax, or, you know, any number of them, it makes them laugh. And that's really important, to laugh.
Listen, someone to talk to, laugh or cry. We've had the best of times, like a gem, so rare and colorful. You shine a light on all you see. Find the good in everything, a priceless cut. You're a gem to me. Remember jumping in the sloughs where you had nothing left to lose. Adventure always on your side. You never learn.
In all the years that I've run the house, it's taught me to put my shoes on in the morning. You know, basically that's all it is. You know, people think it's like some grand thing, and it really isn't. All it is putting your shoes on every morning and getting up and being present. I think that's probably what it's taught me.
Hey, good looking, who are you? What's your name? Where do you come from?